quant, reasoning, English. These three subjects become like Achilles heel for a lot of students preparing for RBI examination. Now that we know that there are high chances of having grade A also along or different than grade B examination in the near future, it becomes all the more important for us to understand how exactly to tackle these three topics or these three subjects, quant, reasoning and English. In this session, I am going to divide this entire understanding into three areas. Firstly, I will be talking about the weightage of quant, reasoning, English. I will not spend a lot of time on this because I am assuming a lot of students are already aware about the weightage, but for understanding of new students, I am going to discuss it very briefly. Secondly, I am going to talk about the objective of studying quant, reasoning and English. What are my objectives in studying or while studying quant, reasoning and English? We have to put it down very succinctly, very clearly, and I have already done that. I will be discussing that with you also. What is the objective of you as an aspirant, as a student? So, what is my objective of studying quant, reasoning and English? Number 3, I will be talking about how to achieve this objective in quant, reasoning and English. Especially, I will be taking the example or the help of this book of quant, reasoning and English. This has been updated recently because a lot of students still use books for QRE, and I must say it is very important and best thing that you are still using books, because especially in quant, reasoning and English, you can't replace practicing with anything else. You might watch thousands of videos, thousands of questions, but you will not be able to solve them unless you practice. That is why I will be taking the help of this book today to explain to you how exactly to achieve your objectives of scoring high. One of the objectives is scoring high in quant, reasoning and English. So, how will you be able to achieve those objectives? Uske liye kya karna hai? I will be taking the help of the book to help you understand. Start करते हैं सबसे पहले. First of all, what is the weightage? Very briefly, quant 30 questions, 30 marks and 25 minutes. So, you can see here the time is lesser than the number of questions, which means that we cannot in any scenario solve all the questions. It is not possible to solve all the questions, and that becomes one of my objectives also. That is how you become more evidence based, more rational in your approach towards the examination by understanding the pattern. In reasoning also something very similar, 60 questions, 60 marks and 45 minutes. Which means very clearly you can't solve all the questions, not possible at all, you do not have enough time. In English, 30 questions, 30 marks, 25 minutes, again the same thing, but in English you don't have to solve everything. There are a lot of questions where you look at the question and you know the answer. That is why it becomes possible for you to solve 30 or let's say 27, 28 questions in 25 minutes time. That is what differentiates English from quant and reasoning. And we will take that down and we will note that down in my objectives, and we will also create a strategy based upon this difference also. I hope this makes it a little clear. So, these are the weightages of these three subjects. Now, let us come to the second point, which is what are my objectives in quant, reasoning and English. मेरे objectives हैं क्या exactly? तो आपके as a student objectives क्या हैं वो मैं यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ. Number 1, when it comes to quant, solve 50% questions in quant. That is my number 1 objective. Solve 50% questions in reasoning, which means 15 questions here and it means 30 questions here. This is my number 1 objective. And solve 90% questions in English. This means 27 questions in English. Why? Because English paper is a lot easier than quant and reasoning. आपको कुछ solve नहीं करना है, आपको कुछ calculation नहीं करनी है. Lot of questions answers come faster. That is why these two reasons combined give me my objective of solving 90% questions in English, not just 50, 60, 70%. Okay. So, these become my objectives of number 1 objectives of quant, reasoning and English. Solving how many questions minimum, ये मुझे मिल गया. Second, I need two things in quant. I need accuracy and I need speed. I need both of them. Why? Because I have limited time, 25 minutes, 30 questions. Time is less, question numbers are high. Even if I decide to solve 15 questions out of these 30 questions, I have to first identify these 15 questions. That itself will eat up at least 5 minutes out of these 25 minutes. So now I have 20 minutes, and in these 20 minutes I am solving 15 questions. So now I need speed also, and I need accuracy also, because I have already reduced the number of questions that I am attempting. Out of 30 I am attempting only 15. So I am already taking a risk. That is why I need to make sure that majority of these 15 questions are correct. Okay, that is why accuracy and speed both become important in quant. In reasoning also the same thing, accuracy and speed, because the level is high, the number of questions are more, the time is less. But in English, accuracy is not so important. Why? Because I am already going for 90% questions, that means 27 questions. I know some questions are going to be wrong because I am trying to solve 27 questions in 25 minutes. Speed is the primary objective. Accuracy might suffer a little bit, but even if it suffers a little bit, I will be able to sail through. But if speed suffers in English, then I might not be able to solve 27, 26 questions. I might get stuck at 20, 15. That is something that I cannot afford in English. I need to solve 90% questions because English is easier, it takes lesser time to solve. So these are again my second number of objectives in quant reasoning and English. First was solving a minimum number of questions. Second is focus on accuracy and speed or on something else. Let's come to the third one. The third set of objectives in quant reasoning and English. What are these? Number one, solve high level questions in quant. In reasoning, again high level questions. In English, moderate level questions. Now these are my specific objectives clarified. Based on my past year analysis, I know by which I mean you students know that there are high level questions being asked in quant. So I need to be able to solve with ease, with comfort, high level questions. The same goes for reasoning, but in English I need or I can afford moderate level questions also, because that has been the trend in the past some years, moderate level questions being asked in English. That is why I need not go towards high level questions in English, at least as of now, as of today. So these are the three major objectives that I have identified. Okay, now this is all of this I am doing in order to help you understand how am I coming to my set of plan, my set of ways to fulfill my objectives, because till the time I don't know my objectives, how would I justify the plan that I am creating? Similarly, when I am discussing this with you, why should you believe me? You should believe me only because I am coming to this plan based upon a rational set of objectives. If I am just being a gyani, just telling you, ye kar lo, ye kar lo, ye kar lo, then what are you doing? And you are believing it, then you are fooling yourself, because you are feeling just another random guy on YouTube. You don't want to do that. You want somebody who is rational in his approach, or who is at least giving you a justification as to why is he or she doing it, or why is he or she saying that you do it as a student. So let's come to point number 3, which is the most important, how to achieve these objectives. I have identified my objectives, I have understood the weightage. Now how do I achieve these objectives? What do I need to do in order to be able to achieve these objectives? एक एक करके समझते हैं. Number 1, the first thing is how do I achieve these objectives? Number 1, let's start with quant. In quant, my first objective is to cover fundamentals. Now I can cover these fundamentals in the best possible manner through videos. That is what I am writing here. How to achieve these objectives? When it comes to quant, you cannot go to advanced level questions to start with. You have to start with basics, fundamentals. But I have written here videos and not a book like this one. Why? Because I know how the exam pattern, how fast the exam pattern has been changing. The kind of questions that are being asked is changing, and that same change cannot be reflected in these kind of books. Number 1, because books take a lot of time to change. I have been printing, organizing, planning, rolling out these books for the past 4, 5, 6 years, and I know how much effort and how much time it takes to change one book, edit one book, update one book. It is much more than changing a video. That is why videos are much more reliable when you're talking about covering fundamentals. The same goes to advanced concepts. It's more advisable to cover it through videos. try and find people that you trust on YouTube, teachers that you trust on YouTube when it comes to quant reasoning English. They may be different teachers, they may be the same teacher as well, doesn't matter. What matters is whether they know what they're doing, what they're teaching or not. So find somebody who is teaching fundamentals well, find somebody who's teaching advanced concepts well when it comes to quant. Not more quantity, not more number of questions for you to practice, but conceptual understanding. Somebody who has good conceptual understanding is what you're looking for. Okay. Once you've done these two things through videos, majorly through videos, you might use books to help you here and there, but majorly your focus is going to be on videos. Now comes the real part. The real part is practicing, because as I said when we started with the session, you cannot expect yourself to do well in quant reasoning and English if you are not practicing. If you're just watching content, watching videos, even if you watch thousands of hours of videos, you will not be able to solve any questions in the exam unless you have practiced. How do you practice? There are multiple ways to practice, but I'll tell you the easiest, the simplest and the most effective way to practice, something that I used to follow when I was a student, and it helped me a lot in cracking SBI type of exams, in cracking RBI in all 3 attempts in phase 1 very with ease. When I used to appear for UPSC, CSAT used to be one of the not only qualifying but a merit section also, merit paper also, and I was able to do that as well because I followed this approach. Till date I have been following this approach only. It works. It not only works for me, I have given it to a lot of students, my enrolled students, and it works for them as well. Let's come to it. What exactly is it? There are 4 levels to practicing questions from any book. Now you can pick up any book, RS Agrawal or any other book, शर्मा जी को उठा लीजिए, कोई भी उठा लीजिए, जो भी आपको सही लगे वो उठा लीजिए, चाहे कैट की बुक्स हों, चाहे कोई भी किताबें हों. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई एम पिकिंग अप दिस बुक विच इज़ द वन ऑन क्वांट रीजनिंग इन इंग्लिश. इट हैज़ practice questions, a lot of practice questions. It has been updated recently. So it's a big, bulky, heavy book, 600 pages approximately. Let's start with this. What is level 1? Let's get to all these 4 levels one by one. Level 1, just let's focus on level 1, forget about level 2, 3, 4. Chapter wise questions, no timer. This is what it says. Now there are approximately 10 to 15 chapters in quant. अभी मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ. तो क्वांट में चैप्टर नंबर 1 खोला मैंने, नंबर सीरीज. नंबर सीरीज में कितने क्वेश्चन है मैं बताता हूँ. 50 क्वेश्चंस हैं. Yes. Total of 50 questions given in number series. So what will I do? I will try and practice, let's say, some questions at the starting only. Now no one book is enough at times, so always keep 3-4 books with yourself when it comes to QRE, because at times you might feel that one book has less questions or it has a different set of questions than you want. So what will I do? I will practice, let's say, 10 questions from here. मैंने 10 क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस करे, देन आई फील ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत समझ आ रहा है. फिर मैंने लास्ट का उठाया, लास्ट के मैंने 10 क्वेश्चन उठा लिए, तो टोटल मैंने 50 में से आउट ऑफ 50 आई हैव कवर्ड 20 क्वेश्चंस, बिकॉज आई नो दैट बुक के स्टार्टिंग में, चैप्टर के स्टार्टिंग में इजी क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, चैप्टर के एंड में ऑटोमेटिकली थोड़े डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. तो मैंने चैप्टर के एंड से 10 क्वेश्चन उठा लिए. तो आई हैव यूज्ड अप 20 क्वेश्चंस इन प्रैक्टिसिंग आउट ऑफ 50 क्वेश्चंस. ये मैंने सबसे पहले किया. चैप्टर वाइज क्वेश्चंस, नो टाइमर. As I am going to all the chapters one by one, in some chapters I might have to cover 100 questions. In some chapters only 20-30 might be enough. Depends upon my comfort level. How am I feeling when I am covering these questions, when I am practicing these questions? Okay, don't shy away from practicing a lot, but always keep asking yourself, do I feel comfortable in solving these questions now or not? If I do, let's move ahead to the next chapter. Let's not waste a lot of time solving the same kind of questions again and again just to feel good. You don't want to do that. Okay, then once you have done this in all the chapters, without any timer, then you move to level 2. Level 2 में out of any 6 chapters you pick up 5 questions from every chapter. That makes it 30 questions. So what am I going to do? 6 chapters. 6 chapters के नाम बताता हूँ आपको. Let me use a pencil. तो मैंने 6 चैप्टर्स आइडेंटिफाई किए. नंबर सीरीज, सिंप्लीफिकेशन, नंबर सिस्टम विच मीन्स HCF LCM, क्वाड्रेटिक, रेशियो प्रोपोर्शन, टाइम एंड वर्क. मैंने ये 6 चैप्टर्स के नाम लिख लिए या यहाँ पे मार्क कर लिए. Now in number series, once I have done with 10 questions, I will mark it using a pen. Pen से mark करना मतलब I am done with these 10 questions, I am not going to look at them again. There is no point, very important point, there is no point in going back to the same question in quant, reasoning and English. It's a waste of time. Okay, so I had done 10 questions in number series. What will I do? I will mark with from a pencil question number 11 to 15, 5 questions as I have written here, 5 questions per chapter, and I will fold this page. So now I know that I have 5 questions on this page. Then I will move to the next one, or I can also use a sticky note, simplification. Let's say I am also done with 10 questions from simplification. So again I will just pick up question number 11 to 15 and I will fold this page. मैंने fold कर दिया, question 11 to 15 pencil से mark कर दिया. So now I have 5 into 2, 10 questions. Now I will come to chapter number 3, number system, which includes HCF LCM. Again, let's say I have done 10 questions already and I have marked them with a pen. Now I mark 11 to 15, 5 questions with a pencil and I fold it. This way I have 6 folds because 6 chapters and every fold has 5 questions. This way I have now 30 questions. I am going to try and solve these questions now. I am on level 2. I am going to try and solve these questions without any timer, no timer at all. I can record how much time am I taking, but I am not concerned about the time. I am more focused on accuracy because यहाँ पे accuracy and speed both are important. तो यहाँ पे I am going to be focused on accuracy, no timer at all. Timer doesn't concern me right now. Timer will come in on level 3. Let's move to level 3. Let's say I have done this for all the chapters. Let's say there are 15 chapters, 18 chapters, whatever it is. I have done this with all the chapters one time, and I am feeling confident in all the chapters, decent enough कि यार 18 में से 13-14 चैप्टर मेरे ठीक ठाक हैं. Then I come to level 3. I'll do the same exercise in level 3. 5 questions per chapter. First chapter फिर से खोला. Now I can see that I'm done with question numbers till 15. Till 15 I have already used. So let's say I'll pick up 5 questions from the end now. Some variation just for fun. So मैंने 5 question उठाए और fold कर दिया और जो पिछला fold था उसको खोल दिया. Then again I come to chapter number 2. 5 questions towards the end. I pick up any 5 questions I pick up, mark them with a pencil and then fold it. This way again I have 6 folds, 5 questions on every fold. So I have created my own test with ease, 30 questions. Now I am going to enter or involve a timer. I am going to get a watch or get a clock and I will mark, okay, I have 20 minutes. Let's see how many questions can I solve. Let's say I am able to solve 15 questions in 20 minutes. So I will check these questions after having solved them after 20 minutes and then I will solve the remaining 15 questions, so that I know that I am not missing out on any question, I am not wasting any questions. Okay. So I have done all the 30 questions, but I know deep inside me that in 20 minutes I could solve only 15 questions. I will keep repeating this exercise. I am still on level 3 for all the chapters. Till the time I am done with all the chapters, I will keep repeating this exercise. I can also mix up multiple chapters. Let's say instead of picking up first 6 chapters, I pick up first 2 chapters, लास्ट 2 चैप्टर्स और बीच में कोई भी 2 चैप्टर उठा लिए, तो मेरे फोल्ड्स चेंज होते चले जाएंगे या स्टिकी नोट चेंज होते चले जाएंगे. दैट इज इट, नथिंग एल्स चेंजेस. ओके, इट स्टेज द सेम. सो 5 क्वेश्चंस पर चैप्टर, 6 चैप्टर्स, 30 क्वेश्चंस आई हैव, 20 मिनट्स आई स्पेंड ऑन दिस. Then I come to level 4. Level 4 is where I'm replicating the actual exam. I'm creating an exam like test. Now you can find these tests online also, but you can also very well create it by yourself. So I have, let's say, 15 chapters in quant, 2 questions every chapter. So I open every chapter, I mark whatever questions are remaining, I mark 2 of them through a pencil. Using a pencil I fold it, and this way I do it for 15 chapters. 2 questions every chapter, 15 chapters. Now I have 30 questions. Now what have I done? Instead of 6 chapters, I have taken all the chapters. So my brain is going to find it even more difficult, challenging to go through all the chapters, different concepts, and solve 2 questions each. It's going to be challenging, but that is the challenge that I want to give to my brain, because the exam is also going to be something like this only. 2 questions every chapter, or anything random, 5 questions one chapter, 0 questions second chapter. It can also be the same, but you keep it simple by giving yourself 2 or 3 questions every chapter. That keeps it simple. You again, once you have introduced timer, you don't remove the timer now, because now you want to get used to solving in a limited time period. So 20 minutes you have, actual exam has 25 minutes, I have taken away 5 minutes because I want myself to go through an exercise which is more rigorous than the actual exam. If I am able to solve 15 questions, 20 questions in 20 minutes, I will find it very easy to go out there and solve 15 questions in 25 minutes. That is my idea. You always try and train yourself to one level up or ahead, or one level upper of what the actual exam is, so that the exam looks easy. You don't want the exam to look difficult, you want it to look easy to you. Okay. Let's come to reasoning now. Reasoning is going to remain very similar. You cover fundamentals and advanced concepts through videos, and then you practice through the book. Now, when you are practicing through the book, you follow almost the same thing, just the number of questions and the time changes. So, first you start with chapter wise questions without any timer. Then you pick up 10 questions from every chapter instead of 5 questions. Now, you have 10 questions because you want to practice 60 questions. You want to get used to 60 questions practicing. Any 6 chapters and no timer. Timer has not been introduced. Once you are done with this for quite some time, then you come to level 3. Now, keep this in mind. If you find difficult to perform in level 3, come back to level 2 for a while. If you find yourself difficult to perform in level 2, come back to level 1 for a while, practice a little bit more and then go back to level 2. If you are comfortable in level 2 but not comfortable in level 3, practice level 2 a little bit more, 3-4 days, and then go back to level 3. Keep switching. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. I know you must have read it by now. What does it say? It says a person keeps moving up and down in the hierarchy of needs. If I don't have enough food, I will focus on food. If I have enough food in my life, I will focus on something else. And immediately, let's say my luck goes bad, I don't have food anymore, my need changes immediately. I come down to the need of food. The same happens here. If you are not comfortable in level 3, come back to level 2. Do it for a while, find confidence in it, and then go to the next level. Okay. Level 3 is what? I am picking up the same thing, 10 questions per chapter, 6 chapters, that means 60 questions, and I am giving myself 40 minutes instead of 45, which is given in the examination. I am giving myself 5 minutes less. So, 60 questions in 40 minutes. I try to focus on 2 areas, accuracy and speed. And once I have done all the chapters with time and I am finding myself getting used to timer, then I move to level 4, where I include all the chapters, not only 6 chapters, 5 chapters, all the 15, 20, whatever number of chapters there are. For example, 4 questions every chapter, there are 15 chapters, 60 questions I have. I give myself 40 minutes to cover these 60 questions. That is how you move ahead in reasoning. In English, it changes the tweak is very small. Let's try and understand it, not very heavy. Majority of you are already above average in English, but some of you are weak also. So, let me try and help you out in that. How do you identify your objectives? Number 1, you cover your fundamentals and moderate concepts through videos. Then vocabulary, there is no need to cover vocabulary unless you are weak in English. Even if you are above average in English, no need to cover vocabulary separately. Once you are practicing questions, that practice itself will be enough for you. Do not try and spend a lot of time on vocabulary if you are above average. If you are weak, then you spend time on vocabulary. I can probably create another session on how to cover vocabulary separately. But if you are weak only, then focus on vocab, otherwise not, because if you are weak, then your vocabulary is going to affect your quality of answers in phase 2 as well. You don't want that to happen. That is why if you are very weak in English, then start working on vocabulary as well. The 4th thing, practicing reading comprehensions. This is very important because out of 30 questions, about 10 questions come from reading comprehension only, 1/3, which is a lot of weightage. You don't want to take it lightly. How do you do it? A lot of people pick up CAT books for reading comprehension. A lot of people also pick up newspapers for reading comprehension. not a good way, not a good technique. I don't support it. A lot of English teachers do support it. I don't. Why? Because it's very slow. You don't want to be slow, unnecessarily slow in your preparation where it's not required. Why be slow when you can be fast? Exactly thing goes here. In reading comprehension, please do not practice using newspaper articles. That's a waste of time. What do you do now? If you're not using newspaper articles for covering RCs, then what do you do? Very simple. Number one, go to the market and find bank PO books. There are hundreds and thousands and millions of bank PO books out there which have again hundreds and thousands and millions of reading comprehensions. So start practicing those. Much better, much more targeted. In this book also, if I am not wrong, it starts with reading comprehension only. English starts from page 465 with reading comprehension. There is a limit to how much every book, how many questions every book can have on every chapter. That limit is also applies here, but there are good enough number of reading comprehensions in my book as well. Okay, so there are 50 questions on reading comprehension in the book. Decent enough, not very high. I know, because I cannot make it even more bulky. It is not something that I am not able to do. I am not able to find that kind of page, etc., etc. I don't want to make it very heavy. That is why 600 pages is the limit for me. So find a lot of bank PO books. Don't shy away from buying books. If you do not have enough money, go to the market which is held in Delhi, big wholesale market every Sunday, I think Daryaganj or something. Go there and buy old books. They're available out there for very low price, 50 rupees, 100 rupees. Buy bank PO books. Another thing that I would highly recommend is buying of SAT books. SAT now is an examination which is held in the US, United States after 12th or after completing your school. If you want to enter college, you have to take this exam. Do not buy IELTS books. There is another exam, IELTS. Do not buy IELTS books. It's not a very good exam. I mean, very simple. Does not cover these kind of level of questions, but SAT books are very good. Now, why do I like SAT books? Now, original SAT books are very expensive. So, you find pirated SAT books in these wholesale markets. Now, what is the advantage of SAT books? The RCs here are very small, but they are highly conceptual. They are very small, but they are highly conceptual, and that is what I want you to work upon. I don't want you to work upon reading very long passages which make no sense. I want instead for you to also work upon simultaneously reading small but highly conceptual reading comprehensions where the quality of questions is also very high. The question is actually judging whether you have understood what you have read or not. If you can do that, automatically you will be able to answer these questions well and easily. That is what I want you to do. That is why, along with SAT books, that is why I have written and here and not or. So, bank PO books and SAT books, you can also use this book to start up with your practicing, and then you can add on multiple books as well. So, this is something that you need to do in English, these 4 things: fundamentals and moderate, no need to go to advanced level, vocabulary and practicing reading comprehension. Now, what are the levels in English? Very similar to quant, because number of questions are also the same. So, you go chapter wise questions without any timer, 5 questions, 6 chapters, no timer. Then level 3 comes, 5 questions per chapter, 6 chapters, 30 questions, 20 minutes. Instead of 25, I am giving myself 20 minutes. And then all the chapters, 2 questions each, 30 questions, about 20 minutes again. Remains the same. The methodology remains the same. I have told you how to use the book as well. These are the 4 levels. As soon as you find yourself not comfortable in one level, not being able to solve questions at all, getting frustrated, move back to a previous level. Keep practicing that. Find confidence, find comfort, and then again move to the next level. That is what you want to keep doing. And these 4 levels and this kind of preparation for QRE can ensure that you will never be able to feel more difficult or feel more useless or helpless in QRE anymore. If you can follow this technique, if you can follow this method, if you can practice enough, then automatically you find yourself sorted out. You will find yourself confident in QRE, or if you're not confident, you would know why are you not confident, what have you missed. That is my idea. That is being rational. Okay. So this is all from my side for this session. I'm very sure if you follow this technique, this method, which is very scientific, very logical in nature, then you will be able to find confidence in QRE and will be able to do well in the examination as well. I'll see you very soon once again. Keep working hard, keep practicing, keep studying. All the best. Bye bye. Jai Hind.